Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. My name's Chris Meyer. I'm going to be your host today, and today we have Jeff Brandt on the show. And Jeff just recently got Branson's Impressionist of the Year award, and Jeff has been in Branson many years. He's performed with Wayne Newton, and he'll have a lot of great stories that you'll want to hear in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. I do have some interesting trivia that we like to throw out there on occasion, and most of the time it's useless. You'll never need it. Okay, here it is. The Windy City name has nothing to do with Chicago weather. I did not know that. Chicago's nickname was coined by the 19th century journalists who were referring to the fact that its residents were windbags and full of hot air. Interesting. Did you know if you kept yelling for 8 years, 7 months, and 6 days, you would produce enough sound energy to heat up a cup of coffee? Or tea. Tea. That's, who comes up with this stuff? This one I think is very interesting. There are more English speakers in China than in the United States. Actually, I think there are less and less people in the United States that speak English. Samsung tests phone durability with a butt-shaped robot. People stash their phones in their back pockets all the time, which is why Samsung created a robot that is shaped like a butt, and yes, it even wears jeans to sit on their phones to make sure they can take the pressure. The question is how much does that robot weigh? Scotland has 421 words for the word snow. Did you know that? I did not. Some examples are sneasel, feeful, or I like this one, flink drinkin', which is a light snow. Useless trivia that you've never wanted to know. That's another great quality about Play Branson. We'll be back in just a moment with Jeff Brandt. Stay tuned.
Christmas season is a perfect time for family traditions, and Branson's Lights of Joy, Branson's all-LED drive-thru, is a great way to create those lasting Christmas memories. This year, discover new LED Christmas displays and an amazing tunnel with state-of-the-art lighting. Santa loves these lights and will be there on many nights. Branson's Lights of Joy is located just north of Sight and Sound Theater on Expressway Lane, open nightly through January 1st. Visit lightsofjoydrivethru.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson, and today we are here with Jeff Brandt. Jeff, good to have you back on the show.
Here. Good to be. Thanks for having me.
So you came in all sparkly and fancy. I love it.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah. It's the wear of the show. So I figured might as well represent.
I love it. I love it. So let's take us way back, because you have a great history in this business, and let's talk to people about how you got where you are now.
Okay. Well, I've been very fortunate and very blessed in this business. I started at 11 years old, and I'm still doing it. And so never had a hit record, but God has blessed me with an opportunity to make a living and provide for my family and stay in an industry that I love and really enjoy. So
let's go back to that when you were 11 years old. What were you doing at 11?
11 years old, they dub it your first professional job when you get paid.
Okay.
And my first job, it was a talent show, and I did my impression of Elvis and won, and I got a 50-cent gift certificate for McDonald's.
Hey.
So I considered that pay, so it was the start of the...
Back then, it was probably a good amount. You know?
Yeah, 50 cents got you a lot back then.
Yeah. Not much today.
But that's where it started, and then I had an uncle that happened to be there, and he said, you got to do something with that. And so found a person in Des Moines that wanted to do management and got together with them. And by the time I was 13 years old, I was playing all of the big, we called them lounges, but they were more like showrooms in the Des Moines area. Back then you would do Tuesday through Saturday, in a lounge setting, but typically they had food and everything as well, or I wouldn't have been able to play there. But that really kind of got it started. Was just working that little club circuit.
And so were you doing impressions only then, or other stuff?
Only doing Elvis then, because that was the only one I knew.
Okay.
But I grew up watching Rich Little on TV, and I said, I want to do what he's doing. Because at that time, that would have been in probably 78, 79. And so, of course, the market was flooded with people doing Elvis. And I thought, I don't want to be just that. I want to be other people too.
Okay.
mainly because I couldn't stand to hear my own self sing. So I thought, if I could sing like somebody else, I'll be in good shape. But that got me branching off into doing other people. And so it developed into a career of just doing other people. And I don't use the props and the wigs and stuff like that. It's just strictly the voice. That's what I work.
So how many other people can you do if you were ballparking it?
Somewhere around 150 people.
150
Yeah.
people, folks. This is why he gets the awards for being the Impressionist of the year. Is that? Did I use the right word?
I should get an award for being the most confused person in the year,
Most
but
confused
I don't know who I am anymore.
So I just would kind of like to put you on the spot and just say, can you do anything like that? Like, can you, like, off the, like...
Well, most of mine are singing impressions, so it's really, really difficult to do without music behind you. But one of the people that I can think of might be somebody like Ronald Reagan,
Okay.
Where he would probably say something to the effect of, "Will, can you believe what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now?" You know, just...
Yeah, probably not. It's crazy what's going on.
It is. It's turned into a big circus. No matter what side of the fence you're on, it's going on both sides. So you just hang on tight and hope for the best.
Yeah. I don't think very many people's opinions are going to change, whether you're to the left or right.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
think so.
Yeah.
And so we don't get into politics too much on this show.
No, it doesn't really do a lot of good.
Yeah. I'm pretty conservative, and most people know that. So,
well,
it is what it is.
and that's what, I've always said, my political views on things really don't matter. For what I do, each person's view is their view. They're going to go to the polls, and they're going to make their view known. And that's really the only person it needs to affect is that person personally. As an entertainer, I don't believe in expressing political views because my job has always been to make people get away from that for 2 hours, put a smile on their face, and make them forget about politics, the electric bill, the house payment. Mm-hmm. For 2 hours, my job is to try to make people happy. So politics really don't play into that. Right. I'm supposed to help them forget about it. Right. And hopefully accomplish that.
So you're doing 150 different entertainers, and in order for you to learn like just one, what is the process that you go through to learn a new entertainer?
Some of it would be, I call it combining it. If I hear someone's voice, I hear qualities in that voice. I hear someone else, and so I think if I take this person and and mix them together and maybe add a little bit of somebody else, I'll ballpark on this one. Mm-hmm. And then I try to just hone it in. A lot of it's vowel sounds that person uses or their way of doing vibrato. It changes from person to person. If you go back to like the 40s and listen to some of the popular ladies of that time, they had this really wavery vibrato. You don't hear it anymore, but they all did it. It was a trend at that time. So if you're going to do people from the past or people from now, you've got to listen to all those little nuances that they have in order to create the voice. Gotcha. And a lot of it, people will say things to me at the show about how do you do that? How do you do that? And a lot of it, I just have to answer honestly. It's a gift from God because I visually have a picture of the person in my head, and that is what comes out.
Now, do you consider your voice a bass voice?
Probably baritone more than anything.
Because don't you do Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
And I was going to say, like, if you're just talking to you here, you're like, it doesn't sound like a Michael Jackson voice, but I've seen you do it. You're good.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And so you just like it is fascinating when you think about how many different people that you can sound like. It's an incredible, talent.
It's a lot of fun, and and we've had a friendship with, like I mentioned before, Rich Little, going on about 30 years now. In fact, he was just here this summer. He was doing a show in St. Louis, and he calls up and he says, "Hey, Jeff, I'm 3.5 hours away. Where are you?" And I'm at home, and so he drove to Branson from St. Louis, and we just hung out for a couple of days. Yeah. But he is so willing to answer any questions I have if I want to learn something new or whatever, and I'm willing to ask the questions if he's willing to give the answers.
That's awesome. So you spent a lot of years performing with Wayne Newton here in Branson. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you also went on the road with him, right?
And also moved to Las Vegas with Wayne. We were here in Branson. He got here in '93. I joined in '94, and then we moved to Las Vegas in '99.
Okay.
And then I was there till 2007.
And then came back to Branson?
Came back to Branson.
Okay. So we're going to stop right there. We'll be back in just a moment with more from Jeff Brandt. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey, welcome back to Play Branson. We're talking to Jeff Brandt, and we had just kind of, in the last episode, we were talking a little bit about you performed for Wayne Newton, or with Wayne Newton for a long time.
Yeah, for 13 years.
And so, talk a little bit about how that all transpired.
Well, to keep it brief, Wayne knew that I was in radio. That's how we met. And he gave me the first interview to announce that he was coming to Branson. And then we just kind of hit it off. We became friends. And a buddy of his came and saw me in a show, the Doug Gabriel show that I was working with at the time, and found out I sang bass. And Wayne's bass singer had just left, and so he was looking for another one. Unbeknownst to me, I get a call from Wayne on the evening that we'd found out that my mother had terminal cancer, and wanted me to come to the theater and meet him. They were starting their Christmas rehearsals, and so I said, okay, I'll be there, thinking he wanted to do a radio interview. So I went to the radio station, picked up all our recording gear, headed over to the theater, had it all set up while the show was going on, and he came off stage and saw all the equipment set up, and he goes, what's all this? And I said, aren't we doing an interview about your show, the Christmas show? And he said, no. He said, there's your bar stool, there's your mic, I'll be right back. Now, what? And 13 years I sat in that bar stool.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And it says here that you were on the Tonight Show, and it was with Wayne, or how did that work?
Yeah, we were there with Wayne, and Jay Leno was hosting at the time.
Okay, so that's always fun.
Oh yeah. Did a lot of things with Wayne, and I've got a lot to be thankful for him for my career. We've been around the world literally twice. Performed in front of 2 presidents, was there to perform for the lighting of the National Christmas Tree in Washington one year, 7 USO tours with Wayne. It was absolutely amazing.
Great opportunity.
Oh, really was.
But now you've been at Hamner's Variety Theater.
Yes.
For several years now, right?
We're going 6 years now.
6 years. Yeah. And you've been the lead, kind of the lead male vocalist there, right? Is that what you would call it?
Absolutely. Since I'm the only one, I am the lead. The number 1 male vocalist at the Hamner show, that's me.
So when people go to that show, if they haven't ever seen it, what are they going to see and what are they going to get?
It's a variety. It literally is, and I know a lot of people say it's something for everybody. This show really is. It's anybody from 100 years old to 2 years old is going to love this show. They've got parrots that Dave and Denise do that fly out over the crowd. You're literally watching them go overhead, and cover your coffee cups when they do. But they fly over. We've got a 300-pound gorilla in the show. We've got Maria Sarek, who flies from the ceiling on silks. We've got Anthony Sumiatan that comes out on the sear wheel. We've got Tamara Tinoco, our female vocalist. Kenny Brown and Sherry Namar that come out and do the dancing for us, and they also do other things in the show as well. Kenny is hilarious as a comedian. If you've ever gotten the chance to see him, he is very, very funny. And then just an incredible cast. Everybody in the cast, which I was thinking about on the way over here, trying to think of something unique about our show. Every single person in our cast appreciates what the other person does. Yeah. Which is rare. I spent a lot of time in Las Vegas, and I can tell you, it doesn't happen there at all. It's a competition. Who's going to outdo the other? And on our cast, everyone just supports each other. Yeah.
And the Hamners are really, besides the birds, they do magic as well. But
Yes.
it's really not. You wouldn't consider the whole thing a magic show because there is so much other variety in it.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's all kind of interspersed throughout all of the illusions. And a lot of the things that we do as a variety act in the show get brought into illusions,
Right.
So, yeah, there's just a little bit of everything.
So you got a New Year's Eve Fiesta party coming up.
Hmm.
Tell people about that.
That really is the highlight of our whole year because our cast, if you're looking for a night of fun and unusual entertainment, the New Year's Eve show is the one to come to because we try to play tricks on each other. You get into kind of a robot mode with your show where you're trying to be precise and do the same thing for every audience. New Year's Eve's a little hands off of that.
Because it's kind of the last show.
It is.
It's the last show, and so it doesn't matter what happens next week, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You change little things to see who can stump who, and we end up having a blast. The audience has a blast, and of course, with the New Year's Eve show, we also have Dave has an incredible friendship with the folks at Mexican Villa up in Springfield, and they cater in the whole show. You get a full dinner, and just like you would get if you went and ate at Mexican Villa.
Says that starts at 8. And then
Actually,
the Mexican,
7:30.
7:30, okay.
Yep.
And then is it at 9 is when the show starts?
Yes.
Now, do you do a full 3-hour show in that time frame, or do you?
We
have a
do
break?
our regular 4-hour or 2-hour show. Yeah, where we go a while. No, it's a 2-hour show, and then where we would normally take intermission, we do contests, we do games, we have prizes that we give away. We've got a burrito eating contest, and that can usually be fun watching people try to beat the time clock on that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of audience participation at that point. Then we do our second half, and following the second half, my hat's off to our lighting guy Corey Combo. He puts on a laser light show unlike anything you've ever seen. The whole theater just explodes in laser lights.
Wow.
And we do the confetti drop and the countdown, and it's just a blast. It really is.
I went and ate at Mexican Villa the other day in Springfield. Then I actually I was at a catered event that they had Mexican Villa at the other day, and it's very good. So,
very good food, yeah.
Very good food. They do a good job. Their queso, I love their queso. So,
and we're also going to have Mike Walker, who also performs at our theater. He is going to come and do a guest appearance during New Year's Eve too, and a couple other surprise folks that we're going to bring in.
So after this, then show, you'll take a little bit of a break, and then do you know when you'll start back up in 2020?
I believe it is March the 1st.
Okay.
I don't have the calendar in front of me.
Take a couple months off, and
it's more like a couple of weeks because I will start working on my act. We change it every year. Everything about the show changes over. So I'll start working on my act about 2 weeks after we close. And then 4 weeks before we reopen, we're back into rehearsals, putting the whole new show together. Dave's got a brand new illusion that he is keeping very secret. I don't know what this is, but the illusion he kept secret last year was a teleportation illusion, where he literally transports Denise from one cabinet on the stage to another cabinet, just like in midair. And then somehow or another, she ends up at the back of the theater. I've been there 6 years. I don't know how he does half of this stuff.
that's part of being a magician. You're not supposed to know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, folks, be sure to check out this New Year's Eve show over at Hamner Variety Theater. They're located on Shepherd of the Hills Expressway, kind of right by the Victorian Village and the La Quinta, and then the Best Western Music Capital Inn are all over in that area. So, Jeff, good having you on the show today. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Folks, we'll be back in just a minute. Folks, welcome back to Play Branson. We're closing out the show. It was so good to have Jeff on the show today from over at Hamner's Variety Theater. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview. It's December 26th when we launched this episode, so there's a few more days left in what we would call the season of Branson to come out, go to Silver Dollar City, hit some shows, go shopping, just to get away from home. It's not too late. Lights of Joy Christmas drive-thru going through January 1st. So there's museums, attractions open, lots of things. And you can call the folks at 877-ENTERTAIN. That's the folks at ibranson.com. You can call them. You can go on the website. They can help you plan your entire vacation. Now, here's the deal. It's not too late to start thinking about next year. Or it's not too, is it not too early? Not too late? I don't remember. Whichever one. You can start thinking about planning even next year. Branson's a great place to come for those winter blues. It's also a great place to start thinking about spring break, which is right around the corner here in Branson. So, if you haven't been to Branson, you need to come. Actually, next March, Amy Grant, Sunday, March 8th, she'll be making a special appearance here in Branson at Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater. And the next coming up days in Branson, we've got King and Country, we've got Danny Goki, we've got Skillet, we've got New Song, all down at the Branson Convention Center. For the Extreme Conference, you can buy a ticket for all 3 days, and those people will rock you out. They're great entertainers in the Christian rock world. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next year on Play Branson.